Hi loves and welcome. I am Nicole Barton, magical teacher and creatrix of the Archetypal Apothecary and host of the Secret Witch Show. And I am sharing in this video my why for what I'm creating. And I'm going to share vulnerably here because my deepest hope is that in my alchemy of my wounds and my journey into magic, I'm hoping that that is going to be the medicine that you need in order to know what is possible for all of us as we walk the path of soul and magic. And before I do, I love providing alchemy, so I'm going to share an inquiry at some point during this video towards the end to help you begin this journey. I struggled for almost a decade birthing my soul business into the world, and I felt the deep pain of that. It felt like I was floating around with a fantasy business at half the time, and I'd be also at the same time as floating, hustling my ass off to try and figure out what I was doing wrong. There was this deep sense of like not enoughness, deep sense of failure, deep sense of like I knew I was here for more, and I didn't know how to bring that into the world. And whilst I knew I had this deeper purpose, I was struggling. And that's when I eventually began to journey into the work of feminine soul. And I eventually was able to birth my soul business. And essentially, we treat business and life as if they're very separate things, but what I've seen is that my business was the portal of being able, a lens for all the places where I had deep wounds. And it wasn't until I began to face those and journey with them and go into the deep dark shadow that I was able to alchemize this. And my business really was that one place that allowed me to heal. And as I journeyed with that over time, my intention was to discover more about my medicine, more about my soul gifts, more about the magic that I'm here to bring into the world that's healing for the collective. And slowly over time, more and more was revealed to me that I was here to work with archetypal remedies, hence Archetypal Apothecary. And these remedies, at the time when I began to work with them, and I've worked with them deeply myself first, because this path is like tried and tested with me. It's also tried and tested with other women who've been walking the path for the last 3 years. And I realised along the way that I was working with these archetypal remedies, which were grounded in the sacred magical technology of homeopathy, because that is my lineage. My lineage is like I've trained in all the healing modalities. Well, most of the healing modalities, all might be a bit of a stretch, but homeopathy was my one thing. And I joke that I was the founder of homeopathy, Hahnemann, in another lifetime, which also made me chuckle because the other day I received my ancestry results and was actually German like him. So I was like, I knew it. But essentially what I found through that journey with homeopathy and the homeopathic remedy profiles, which essentially are like archetypal personality profiles, I saw that I had basically healed myself with these archetypal homeopathic remedies throughout my life. I'd experienced several painful portals of burnout. First, when I was 10 and I burnt out for a year and missed a whole year of school. And secondly, when I burnt out in my career as a brand manager. So I went into like a professional career and burnt out. And that really was the initiation into my magic. So I'm deeply grateful for that now, but at the time it did not look like a positive thing. And I come to see now that it was an initiation into my medicine. And what I saw more deeply was that burnout really helped me to peel back all the layers. Like, it revealed to me things that I didn't expect as I worked with each different archetypal remedy. And each different archetypal remedy showed me deeper and deeper things about myself. And it particularly showed me overall that any symptom that we have, whether physical, whether emotional, whether mental or spiritual, whatever we are going through symptom wise, any trigger is all a sign that we're hitting up against another layer of wounding. And now I call that a material for liberation. And that wounding is essentially what is in the way of us being the full expression of our soul in our full truth. And where our true expression is being blocked by our wounds, we are not able to be living fully from soul. And these wounds can be both personal things that we've navigated through life and also ancestral things, but essentially these are the things that we have chosen, our soul has chosen into healing and experiencing in a lifetime. And especially for women who are here to be medicine in the world. This is women who are aspiring coaches, aspiring healers, aspiring teachers, aspiring guides. These women are typically really sensitive, and they're here to alchemize a particular ancestral wound that I've seen. It's the witch wound, and that ultimately is the fear of our expression. And oh, do I know about that, because when I began to share my business, share my medicine, I was navigating the witch wound unconsciously. I did not have a clue that that was what the deeper thing that was having me really not be able to bring my medicine into the world. The witch wound is really the secret hidden reason why women struggle to actualize their gifts. They end up, because of the witch wound, which essentially is the fear of being burned at the stake for our medicine, like that's the secret reason why women dilute themselves. They dilute their medicine in order to fit into the mundane world. They hide themselves away in order to be loved. They don't tell people about their magical crystals. They're just hiding it all away. They're in the spiritual closet so that they aren't rejected, so that they aren't judged, so that they aren't chased out the village with pitchforks. And I feel these women. If that is you, I feel your heart, because I am a medicine woman and I have journeyed those same wounds, and I've journeyed to see that medicine women must claim their full expression, because it is that is our deepest gift. And going back to my struggle to bring my business into the world, I came to see that I had been using the masculine lens to try and figure out my soul business instead of tuning into my heart, liberating all that was really hiding my soul, like the shadow that was hiding my soul. And I relied on the external. I felt like my gifts were my tools. I felt like if I did X, Y, Z, then I'd be okay. And eventually, through this reclamation of soul, through this journey with healing my witch wound, I came to see something that changed all of that. And this is the one thing that had me alchemize the exact thing about creating a business from soul. And that one thing was that it's our archetypal story that is medicine for others, our heroine's journey, the way that we have navigated our own trials, our own transformation, and the vulnerable sharing of that, the vulnerable expression of that. And if we're not sharing that vulnerably because of the fear of expressing our true selves, then that's going to have an impact on how we are able to magnetize clients. And this isn't just something that I have experienced myself. I've come to see, and it was quite magical, because the very foundation of my homeopathic lineage has this universal magical principle, this universal law that explains this. And when it all trickled in and I began to see, like this was here all along, and it's like sacred magical technology that people just don't know about. Like, this is the why. Like, people need to know that there's this new opportunity. And the universal principle that explains this is, and this is the foundation of all teaching in the Archetypal Apothecary Mystery School, universal principle is similia similibus, and it means like cures like. What that means in practical terms, because just dropping the name is going to mean very little to you, but essentially it's presenting a new opportunity. It's presenting a new way to do magical business that's grounded in our true expression, being our medicine. What I mean by that is, women who need our medicine are drawn to us. If we're sharing our archetypal heroine's journey, our journey of like, this is what we have healed, this is how we have healed it. This is like what we've alchemized. This is what's possible for you. When we're sharing from that place courageously, vulnerably, people can feel our hearts. They can feel the truth in our medicine. And not only that, but the people who need it are going to be drawn to you to find out more, to understand like what is your point of view, how did you move from island A to island B. And your medicine, your journey will cure women like you and therefore magnetize women like you. And if we are hiding our true expression, if we are hiding our stories, that is preventing that from happening. This is like the most profound thing, and it presents such a new opportunity. It's grounded in sacred magical technology. It's like a universal law, and it's really just a new way to think about magical business. Like there is a real difference between the masculine ways of doing business and the feminine ways of doing business, which is grounded in magical technology. And essentially the answer is to heal our true expression, because that is the medicine. So here is the inquiry that I would love to offer you. The inquiry is, what comes up for you when you think of being seen in your full, true, magical expression? Spend some time with that, like feel into your heart, notice what comes up, and journal with it, be with it, meditate on it, you know, take it out to the wild, whatever works for you. And if it's fear that comes up, then I suspect it's because you're here to be a witch and you're a medicine woman. And I suspect it's also impacting your capacity to be magnetic. The witch needs to take her own medicine in order to heal her wounds. And our archetypal apothecary is for witches who are secret witches, ready to dive into their souls, to do the deep shadow work that will help them reclaim the lost fragments of their souls and become who they were literally born here to be. If you have this fear, this is not something to avoid, it's not something to fear, it's so welcome. Like this is really just some material for your liberation to be able to finally live that purpose and create that soul business that you are here for. And Naja is the first archetypal remedy that we are birthing. She is, as an archetypal remedy, and archetypal remedies really, just to add a bit more clarity, are lenses, mirrors that we can use. They're like personality profiles, but they're more magical because they're also actually spirits in their very own right. So we're working with Naja, who's the snake. The snake is very animalistic, she's sensual, she's feminine, she's hypnotic. And we look at her shadow, we look at her gold. She's very good at she's very good at like shedding her skin, and that's really what we're here to do. Like we are here to shed the skin of all the old ways of being, of hiding your true self, that are old, that are dead. And she helps you to begin to own with the deepest of love your authentic voice, your full magical expression. Naja is the most magical, the most spiritual of snakes. She's the cobra, and she's associated with spirituality. She is here to help you reclaim your full, unapologetic, magical expression from love. She's here to help you reclaim your sensual femininity, to connect to your womb. She's a very sacral energy. And this is all so that you can truly open to birthing and actualizing your soul business. But she's not only going to help you do that, she's going to help you open, soften, fully express in all areas of your life. So Naja will also help you in relationships. She will help you in like softening into the feminine. She's going to help you in all sorts of ways. And that's because our business is just a lens. Our business is a lens to show us where we are suffering from shadow that we have pushed into the background because it's painful to look there. And that's really so that you can live like cures like, as that principle, so that your heartfelt story can be shared to help heal the collective. This is my why. And we are going to be working with sacred magical technology, so soul work, shadow work, archetypal work, obviously, ritual, potion making. We're going to be guiding you into making a potion for Naja that you can serve and dose yourself with every day, working with ancestral healing, working with all the ancient magical practice and feminine embodiment as well, to help you heal and create around the four key pillars of feminine soul healing, self-expression, owning your authentic voice, and magnetizing your desires and soul clients. And it's not like your typical business teachings, although I joke this is it's like a cross between a magical business academy and a feminine mystery school. This is magical business, which means that it's an initiation. Naja will hold up a mirror to reveal things that you've not previously seen and invite you into feminine magic, so that you can create your heart's deepest desire to be in service as medicine. So if you are ready to change your life and to express your magic unapologetically and authentically, then you might want to join us. Mwah.